Hi guys, it's that time again. Which is better? And it will be a CARCASS special, so if you're into death metal or just curious, then this video is definitely for you. And the albums we're going to be looking at are Surgical Steel and Torn Arteries. So looking at Surgical Steel, this is one of the few albums I've had the pleasure of playing on repeat non-stop for days on end and headbanging all the way. Indeed, it was the fame surrounding CARCASS's older album artwork as a legendary metal work that drew me to discover this band. When I first heard Surgical Steel, I was shocked by the Maiden-style higher-end riffs in a Melodeath song. I mean, I know Melodeath is supposed to be the new wave of British heavy metal mixed with death metal, but no other band has really done it like CARCASS. Take all those catchy melodic riffs from Iron Maiden and add in a badass unclean vocalist who knows how to scream and throw in some death metal, and bam, you have CARCASS. Now, this band masters the musicianship of melodic death metal in this album. The vocalist hammers away in a perfect tandem with every little pitch change on the guitar. The drums slam away in perfect unison with the flow of the song, and the catchy guitar riffs are spammed like crazy with interesting little pitch changes thrown all over the place that create that just about catchiest riff that you can think of. In a way, CARCASS capitalizes on the success of Heartwork well, and catchy riffs like those featured on Embodiment from Heartwork are all over the place in Surgical Steel. The fact that they keep spamming the catchiest riff of the song and what makes this album so successful. Usually I get the chorus of the song stuck in my head, but Surgical Steel has all the sections of the song stuck in your head daily on repeat. Jeff's voice is definitely intense and powerful enough to add the song rather than distract from it, and it sounds similar to a shrieking soul from hell or something. Heartwork was indeed incredible. It suffered from a slower pace that kept someone who loves fast music pretty bored at times. This album puts that all to rest. Every song is masterfully executed at breakneck pace. Production has also increased dramatically, and the years have definitely helped CARCASS rather than hurt them. Every rasp from Walker's voice is crisp and intense, and every drum pound and guitar riff is perfectly audible. To sum it all up, if you like fast, melodic, catchy, rhythmic, brutal metal, and in addition to that you can handle Walker's vocals, listen to this album today. It's a work of art. Switching gears, we're going to look at Torn Arteries. What can one say about CARCASS at this point? On what premise do I establish a reason to review their most recent album? Perhaps they have always been a band that has consistently done what they wanted to when they wanted to do it, or that the number of genres their musicians have gone through in their careers have allowed them to have unique songwriting, or a parallelism between their musical growth and their approach to lyrics and their themes. I think they've been treated dozens of times, yet they are still relevant to this release of this album. Not in vain. 30 years have passed since the demo flesh-ripping Sonic Torment, but what a coincidence is the name of a song from the same album. Lack of ideas, self-reference, and the cycle, who knows. I don't know if this will be their last album. If so, it will be incredibly a worthy ending, as this album is easily one of the best CARCASS have put out in their entire career. But unlike Necrotism, which is another great album, on this album, CARCASS have been able to create an overall sound by adding elements from almost every phase of their career, while Surgical Steel felt like a much more aggressive version of Heartwork, but still is redoing in an excessive melodic tonality. This album shows that they can do a lot more with just the first song. The homonymous Torn Arteries already shows us a type of composition way more based upon unpredictable multiple rhythm changes accompanied by interconnected guitars at different tones. Being this kind of song, the closest we could get to hear CARCASS sounding like they did on Necrotism. I've already said the English trio implements many more elements of their previous works, and this is already noticeable in the following song of the album, which we feel a clear reminiscence to the underrated Swan Song album, and shows us how that decade in which Bill Steele was dedicated to make hard rock has served to improve a subject that CARCASS have already more than passed. The creation of the catchy riffs is based upon the hard rock tone. The consequent collection of songs moves in an incredible way in a fusion of sounds that, for those who are already fans of CARCASS, will appreciate a warm familiarity, but without departing from the excitement of discovering new songs. And I personally love that the perspective of this album is a look into the past after a long career, that they are still able to show us how well they master their own styles, and how even though time passes, the talent does not disappear or even a new one is born. Indeed, Daniel Wilding in this album really takes a much more important role, and it can be appreciated in the amount of flashes that he has to shine, standing as the worthy successor of Ken Owen. A task not easy at all, but that he manages to solve after years of his work with his discreet debut. Because it should not be easy to measure yourself against the other legends present in this work, I've already said that I feel obliged to highlight again the incredible performance of Bill Steer on guitars. Besides, this is the first album since Symphonies of Sickness where all the guitar work is by him. And also, Jeff Walker shows an incredibly solid vocal despite the passing of years, also a result of very good production work. If you have never listened to CARCASS, this is probably the best album to start with. Not because it's the best, but because it's simply the most complete and the one that has more elements of different characteristics, and that makes it incredibly complete apart from having a great number of songs to highlight. Nothing more to say. A simple contemporary masterpiece brought by the old boys from Liverpool, when many, including myself, did not think they could surprise us yet again. And this time more for technical and consistency work than originality. I could be talking extensively about all the songs, but each one is a different experience and will leave anyone indifferent, so I prefer everybody goes in with a general idea of what they can find and experience it for themselves. Yeah, but guys, let me know in the comments down below what you thought was the better album. Other than that, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.